Hi there, and you're watching Commodities Corner with me, Darren McDermott. Today I'm joined by Daniel Briesemann, a commodities analyst at Commerzbank in Frankfurt, to discuss some base metals. So Daniel, copper gained the most in August in 11 months, on the back of the news that China's manufacturing index rose. So do you think this is the beginning of a turnaround for copper?
Well, at least sets another data point in a whole series of data points which came in much better than expected from China, and we think if we haven't already seen a turning point for copper, then this is definitely a phase where copper will build a bottom, and from which it should be able to gain more ground in the future.
And staying on the topic of copper, how do you see it performing over the coming months?
I must admit, we were a little bit surprised by the sharp rise in copper prices over the last 3 weeks. Copper, as you just said, so far is the best performance in 11 months and gained roughly 10% since the beginning of August. So this, I think, is a little bit exaggerated and came a little bit too fast. So I would expect, or I would not be surprised to see some setbacks in the near future. But generally, we think that the trend should be clearly upwards, and we see the copper price at a good $7,500 per ton by the end of this year, and it should rise towards around $8,500 per ton by the end of next year.
And how were base metals performing before and after the Fed minutes? And do you think there will be anything said at Jackson Hole that will have an impact on prices?
Well, according to my point of view, economic data, and especially the ones out of China, clearly outweighed FOMC data or of, let's say, the Fed minutes. We've seen just a little bit of nervousness on the base metal side. So the FOMC minutes did affect more the precious metals. And regarding Jackson Hole, because Bernanke and Draghi are not joining Jackson Hole this year, I don't know. I don't think that this meeting this year will be that important. So I don't expect much news coming out of it.
And what will be the main driving factors over the coming months for base metals, and which base metals are you feeling more bullish about?
Well, clearly improving economic data, both in China and in the US. Both are the most important demand drivers, or demand, or let's say the most important consuming countries for metals. So here clearly improving economic data will support base metals prices in general. Let's say metal for metal basis, I'm still going for copper, but also zinc and especially lead look quite promising to me.
And finally, Daniel, let's have a quick look at precious metals. How are they performing in comparison to base metals?
Well, precious metals also gained some lost ground over the recent weeks, especially silver. You can say even skyrocketed. So we are a little bit less confident on gold. So here we think we will see some setbacks once the euphoria fades a little bit. But we are quite optimistic on the more industrialized precious metals like silver, platinum, and palladium. And these three should be able to move up along with base metals.
Thank you, Daniel, for that. Well, viewers, if you are interested in hearing about US news, then make sure you have a look at my interview on the Fed. Goodbye for now.